Guitar Rig 7 is here, and all I'm going to do in this video is show you a little idea I've been working on, and then maybe we'll run some of these tracks through Guitar Rig, some of the new amps and new effects, see if it's something you want to pick up. They've got some interesting stuff for the lo-fi aficionados, and I consider myself, I guess, a lo-fi aficionado. If you're new to Guitar Rig, this is a great time to get on board. It's so much more than just a guitar processor. We'll run some of these tracks through Guitar Rig and show you what you can do with other instruments to give them a unique sound and help you decide if this is right for you. I've got an affiliate link in the description, but don't pick it up if you don't need it. That's kind of my thing, right? If you have questions, ask me in the comments. And let's just have a look at it and see what the new stuff is all about. One of the cool things I noticed about this is that we're actually seeing some collaboration between Native Instruments and iZotope. Been some cross-pollination going on, which is really cool. So it's no longer just, Native Instruments and these other companies' programs. We're actually getting the teams working together, which is really cool. So what I've got in here is some drums, and I'm using the new Play Instrument Rudiments that just came out, I guess last week, and I've got a video on that one as well. They're a very clean sounding hip hop drums. So we're gonna try running the drums through some of this processing, play around with that a little bit. And then I've got a Rhodes in here, an actual Fender Rhodes. We'll try processing that a little bit. Of course, I've got an electric guitar, and then a couple other tracks in there. This drum set that we're working with is actually called the Kai kit, but I use this Henfru kit for the pattern. So here's the drums. All I did is drag the pattern from the other one right onto my track. Let's start with the drums, and we'll just put Guitar Rig on there and maybe play around with some of these new modules. So here's Guitar Rig 7. Looks very similar to Guitar Rig 6. And then in terms of these lo-fi effects, let's go over to components. The new ones that they've got in here for these lo-fi, what they're calling lo-fi, we've got the noise machine, tape wobble, and then vintage vibrato. There we go. Another nice thing about Guitar Rig 7 and 6 for that matter is you've got patches listed right here. Let's go to Dusty Vinyl, play around with this a little bit. And then we're gonna go save as, and I'm gonna call it Dusty Vinyl Jeff, hit OK. And then now, when we click here, we can see the factory patches, and then we can see the user patches. So very easy to go in and save your own patches. But let's just try some of these out. I turned the power off on the other ones, but let's have a listen to this on the drum set. Turn it off. That's pretty cool, actually. Anyway, so that's the noise machine, duct tape, Dusty Vinyl. Nice. Cooking. Birds. All right, not expecting that. I'm checking this stuff out for the first time, by the way. Let's go back to the duct tape. I like that one. Let's go to tape wobble. Actually, we'll turn off the noise machine for now. Tape wobble. I've got a tape machine, a couple of tape machines. I just picked up this 8-track not that long ago. I'm gonna do a future video on recording with this actual device, and I'm really looking forward to that. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. Those kind of videos don't get as much views because it's not something new and shiny and exciting. So that's where I need you to click on those videos when they pop up. Oh, that's cool. The chorus. I like that a lot. Oh, and tape wobble, by the way, is just referring to the way tape used to get wow and flutter when it would get misshapen a little bit, and the pitch and the tone would kind of actually warble. And vintage vibrato. Oh, getting wider stereo spread. I really like that. All right, we've got another one called color in here, and I think that's going to probably fall under distortion. So if we drag this one in, very cool looking effect. And then if we click over here, we can see we've got some stuff like tape drive, crunchy phone. This could be really good for sound design when you're trying to make somebody sound like they're coming through a phone or over a loudspeaker or something like that. We'll see. But let's go try some of the presets. One of the nice features about this is that they realize it's not just for guitars. You can filter your patches by input sources. So you can go vocal, guitars, keys, drums, etc. And on the entire mix, because you might want to put some of these effects on an entire mix for sure. So we're just going to go to the drums presets. So let's get rid of that one. We'll go back to our other preset. So then we've also got a Rhodes. This Rhodes I got at an auction, and I got it for a smoking deal. It almost cost me as much to ship it from where it was as it cost me for the actual Rhodes. I didn't know if it worked, and got it home, ordered a cable from Vintage Vibe, and it works beautifully. On this one, I'm going to try input sources. Let's go to piano, see what we got here. Okay, beautiful vintage vibrato. This one's using a new one called AC Box XV. This is a new amp, and it's also using this new vintage vibrato. This patch sounds really good. Now let's go to the electric guitar where we can play around with some of these new presets a little bit more. So here's the guitar for this one. Just played some simple chords. All right, so we've got the Reverb Delight on here already. This is a rather deluxe new one that's just been dropped in. But let's have a listen to some of the patches on this one. And then beforehand, there you go. So I think we got a decent guitar sound. That's the new Reverb Delight. Let's move on to the next instrument, which is the Juno. And I made a video on whether you should get into vintage synths a while ago. And the day I made the video, my Juno seemed to lose a voice. So I'd play 5 notes and then the 6th note just wouldn't play. And I figured out kind of a hack around that if you use this Poly 2 mode. But then the Juno sat for 2 weeks and I just plugged it in and played it today and it's working fine. So just got better. So that's the Juno. Let's try putting guitar rig on that one too. Why not? We're gonna go to input sources. And you hear when I first put guitar rig on, it was quite narrow. And that's because it went to a mono signal. And my Juno right now is very stereo because it had the chorus on. That's the only way you make a Juno stereo, by the way. So make sure you hit this little stereo button if you're working with a stereo signal. And I should probably do that on the drum kit too. You know that? I don't know if I did. Let's just check. There we go. We did have some panning in that kit that got lost. All right, so back to the Juno. Let's put something on that. We're gonna go over to Synth presets, see what we got. All right, so we got one of the new presets on here with this color in there. Let's have a listen to what that's doing. drive it up a bit. Oh, I like that. Okay, let's leave that on. There are a bunch of new distortions added as well, so make sure you click the link and go check those ones out. So what I'm gonna do now is I've got a little trumpet part in there, and I'm just gonna find another synth sound right now, and then we're just gonna play this thing out. And I hope that gave you a little overview of some of the stuff in Guitar Rig, but actually putting it on signals so you can hear what it's doing. I'm really gonna enjoy this, and I do have to admit, I need to remember about Guitar Rig more often, because so often I'm looking for other effects and I forget to just chuck that dang thing on there and use all of the effects that are in it. There's so much to use in there, and I'm just scratching the surface of it myself. So I do want to learn more about Guitar Rig, and it just feels like you could spend a month just working on Guitar Rig. Anyways, so let me find a synth sound and I'll just play this thing out. Okay, so I found a nice patch on the Mini Freak V here, and I'm just gonna trigger it via this keyboard, and we're gonna run it through Guitar Rig 7. Here we go. Synth, let's try this out. And then let's go to genres and we'll try lo-fi. Oh, wow. Wow, this patch is called Boardroom Syrup. Boards of Canada, I like it. Very clever, guys. Turn it on. All right, here we go. So thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell and all that. I'll see you in the next video.